Welcome back everyone to theCUBE here at the NYSE banner day here, crypto IPO, another one went up, popped off pretty nicely, off from an original pricing of 37. That was the bullish, very bullish environment, so to speak, and the IPOs are lining up and crypto is going mainstream and more, normal people, non-techies are getting in, the financial institutions are aligning, the regulations have clarity, there's a Genius Act and stablecoins are all driving the momentum for the linchpin that is the financial systems as it continues to go mainstream. We've always had great guests. This is part of our Crypto Trailblazers ongoing series we're doing with the leaders who are making it happen. We've got Sebastien Badault here, VP of Enterprise at Ledger. Phenomenal company, headquartered in Paris, France. We visited them during the Raise conference, had a chance to visit their office. Great suite of products. Sebastien, you lead the enterprise group.
I do.
Thank you for coming on theCUBE. Great to see you.
Having me. Great to see you too.
In New York, it's hot in Paris these days, temperature-wise and technically hot. So welcome back.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's amazing to see that, Paris is really a center for crypto. I mean, there's Ledger, of course, but not only, there's also like Kiln, Morpho, Sandbox, a lot of players. We actually, Flowdesk, that is a company that Ledger is invested in and that is actually in our offices as well. We call it like, it's like crypto sentier. It's like really in the middle of the city. And actually a lot of them are within walking distance from us. And so there's a real, and there's been for a while, a real, an energy around the space, et cetera, and creativity.
I mean, French are known for their engineering. I've interviewed Benoit Dagaville from Snowflake. They're very polite. That's a cute solution, which is code words in France for not that elegant. But you guys are doing great. Again, what's impressive about Ledger is how you guys have morphed into a suite of solutions across not just users, with custody and wallet, but also in the enterprise. There's a lot going on. Give us an update. What is the enterprise business like for Ledger? What are some of the things you're focused on and what are you optimizing for?
So I think what's interesting is that we're growing with the industry, right? I mean, we've been around for 11 years now. We, secured 20% of the world's crypto. And when we started out, the only people that were trading or needed to secure their crypto were users, right? Like crypto was a retail business at first. And then as it grew, we started having more and more companies coming to us and saying, well, we love your consumer solution, but we need something that's enterprise grade. Yeah. Basically, can you build it for us? And that's what we set out to do about 5 years ago. And now what's happening is that the new wave, the wave that's happening right now is really an institutional wave. Yeah. And I think that what we're focusing on is to go beyond what we started doing, which was obviously security because that's our DNA, and governance because that's what they needed, right? As companies, they need governance because you cannot have one person holding the keys. And on top of that, what we're building more and more is services on top of that, right? So what if you're a company in crypto, what are you going to want to do, right? Yeah. So you want to stake your assets, you're going to want to trade. So we built like an off-exchange trading platform called Tradelink. That's something that we've been working on quite a bit in the past year. We're thinking about payments because obviously with stable coins, et cetera, we're seeing like a lot of desire there. And really treasury management as a whole. So that's really, we're trying to like go along with what the needs of the markets are. Yeah. And then the other thing that I'll say, and the big shift and the big change is that, when your industry, you can think about security as a foundation, right? Like, so it's the foundation to a home. You need to have security in your home, and you need to have strong foundations for your home to like stand tall. As the home gets bigger and bigger, which is what's happening right now in the crypto market, you need more and more security. And the home is getting a lot bigger because the people coming in, like the TradFi players, need and they are used to having these secure tools. So I think what's really interesting for us is that we've provided this for the crypto market for the past 5 years, and now we're having the discussions to help banks, traders, et cetera, hedge funds, et cetera, who are coming from the TradFi space, really be able to trade crypto and go beyond just the ETFs piece, but also like be able to hold their own crypto and then be able to do whatever they want.
I mean, it's interesting. You become what you're known for in life. That's the old saying as it goes. If you think about what you guys have done, the team, with the hardware wallet and then how it's developed, kind of just rolling with the evolution, right? So that's cool, but you really nailed security because you had to, and so that kind of pays dividends. You mentioned security multiple times. You know, if you come into the enterprise, the bar is very high.
100%.
Okay, so when you start looking at solutions, okay, you can mix and match solutions. That maybe that's a way you can compose some new services and technologies together. But it's rooted in the security. Talk about that aspect of it, because once you get the wallet, you've got essentially the mind share, because that's what money is, right? So now you have other things going on around it. Take us through that, the growth out of the position of just nailing the security.
Yeah. So I think what's interesting is that if you look at the two targets, right, like the crypto natives and the new people coming into the space, the TradFi players, what's happened with the crypto native is that they understand and they see more and more that hacks and issues in the space, they're not going away. We had Bybit not so long ago that I think was a wake-up call for a lot of people. So a lot of companies that maybe were thinking, no, we're okay, we've got an eternal solution that they had kind of like done on their own. They're like, no, we need the best in the game, and we need what Ledger provides, which is HSM and governance around that HSM, et cetera, which is really the gold standard, if you will, of what you can do in terms of security. And then the new people coming in, again, they're used.
They want ease of use.
They want ease of use, and they want people who know what to do in that space. And they're not afraid to spend to actually get the best security, because that's what they've been doing for years, right?
Yeah.
Like all the legacy systems cost a lot of money, right? If you look at a JP Morgan or Goldman Sachs or whatever company, they spend millions of dollars in security every year. So spending a little bit,
when you're doing trillions, you can spend a few pennies in their mind, which is $10 billion IT budget.
Exactly.
But then, let's talk about that, because I think one of the things that's interesting is that I know a lot of SecOps friends, OPSEC, whatever you call it, that are hardcore. I don't know, I got this covered, and they're really hardcore. They're getting hacked because the social engineering. They know when they're writing code. They know when they're voting. So the social engineering will work on anybody. So having that nailed down is key. So enterprises clearly get that. But what are they looking at? I got to ask, what's on the mind of the enterprise right now? What's the psychology? Where are they at in the journey? What are some of the use cases? I can see the crypto holdings. So everyone's getting into it. So that's more fluid money flowing around.
I think what's interesting is that we and I'll make a parallel to what I've seen maybe in my prior days with the wave towards e-commerce, towards the internet when I was working at Google or Amazon, etc. I always felt that traditional players were way behind, and it took them like a long time to get to catch the digital wave. But in finance, I really feel that in discussions that I have with all these banks, etc., they're actually like very ahead, and a lot of them have a bunch of developers internally, and they have projects, etc. I think they were waiting.
They have POCs going on right now,
and they were waiting for kind of like the go for the wave to come, but they were prepared for that wave shall it come. So I think that's a really important point. And then next to that, they also understand and they know that at one point or another, you can build on your own. There's a lot of things that you can build on your own if you have, the means, and they definitely have the means.
And the developers.
So, the means to
money and developers,
for sure. But at one point or another, if someone like we has been working on a technology for years and years, there's something that we've been able to build, and there's a moat that no one else can like go out and just say, oh, I'm going to do the same thing.
There's diseconomies of scale all over the place.
And we've built an operating system. We've built a secure technology. As you've probably mentioned before, the chip in your credit card is a French invention. That's pretty much what the HSM is within Ledger Enterprise. So the discussion that we're having is we're trying to, at least on the one hand, at least share with them what we know and what we understand about the importance of security and what works, and then trying to see how we can partner and help them out, either by selling our technology or by building something together with them.
I mean, that's the theme of the Crypto Trailblazers episodes. This is like our 4th event. It's going to be probably continuing more. It's more demand. The IPO today showed, again, the market is underestimated on the private side. Public appetite is huge. So you guys got to be pumped at Ledger. I'm not going to go there.
It's always good news to see people in the space. I mean, we have friends at Bullish, etc. So congratulating to them, and then I'll be sending them notes to congratulate them now that the bell has rung. But it definitely shows and that there is I think the market's been just waiting for this, this clarity, but also like we're really seeing a shift, right? Like I think for
there's money involved, there's real money.
There's real money involved, and then the other thing is that, I think for a long time, like the ethos was, it's like crypto versus like, fiat, etc. And I think that we're coming to a place where TradFi is really adopting crypto, but it's kind of like more of a partnership than one taking the other one over. And that's the way it should be.
And the theme is that people in finance just want to do their thing,
exactly.
Whether it's trading or on the institutional side, and they understand the buy build. They've been doing IT for generations. You mentioned Amazon, that cloud wave was very elementary. It's build 3 building blocks, and now you got abstraction of services. So that scale.
But it took a while. It took a while, right? Like from the beginning, the technology was there, and that's kind of always the case. Technology is there, but it takes a little while for people to try it out, to say, okay, it actually makes sense. And I think that now what they're seeing, and what everyone's seeing, is that it works, because we've been building this technology for years, so it actually works. It is faster, it is cheaper. The rails that we had were old and like needed like a change, and it's an opportunity. And in finance, what are you looking for? You're looking for opportunities, you're looking for hedges. And crypto becomes an edge, and so people are like,
and it's interesting that yes, they're going to go to solutions that are proven. Totally see that. Platforms as well is a huge trend. We've seen that in cloud, cybersecurity. The area that's interesting is it's interesting you said they're waiting, because if you look at the sentiment of the enterprise on the bank side, they've all had stuff going. They were waiting for the green light. You see the Genius Act and stablecoins are 2 moments here in the U.S. where it's like, okay, there's going to be some clear rules of the road, unlike the other regimes that were in power. So that's going to open up the floodgates. We see that. And 2, the enterprises all know from the Gen AI and from their own businesses that their data is their moat, data is their intellectual property, data is their money. And so you're starting to see the emergence of digital assets on new chains. Now, one of the storylines here this week is a lot of chains. We heard Circle's got a chain. We hear Stripe's going to have a chain. So, okay, they're going to be a series of chains. And that's more assets on chain. So how does that fit into what you're looking at? Because that's going to be like a private cloud almost, private chain.
So there's a couple of things that are really interesting. It's interesting that you took Circle and Stripe, because at one point or another, when you look at what Circle is doing, are they going head to head with Stripe, for example, to go after that payment and not just like do the stablecoin piece? So that's an important point. And then what's very interesting is that's something that we've been working on quite a bit in the past few months, is that we really need to help integrate all of these chains, because like if you're going to be doing treasury management, maybe you're going to be working with Circle's coin, or you're going to be working with Fidelity's, or whoever is like building one, but that requires an integration. That's some of the things that we're working on. It's not that easy, because each chain is
very exciting, because it's almost like building networks that were once not disparate, but you're going to connect them.
Absolutely.
And so you got to have the public chain. You can have your own chain. If you got assets, you want to keep them, have custom features. Okay, cool. Stable coins too. They can have stable coins. Fidelity got their own stable coin. They should.
They do.
And
there'll be more and more, right? Like now that the Genius Act is in, who knows? Amazon might have a stable coin tomorrow. Walmart might have a stable coin. It would make sense.
Everyone that's doing any commerce will probably have a stable coin.
Exactly. And then down the line, that means you do need to have custody around that stable coin. You need to secure that stable coin, and that's when we come in.
You guys step up to the plate.
The opportunity is right there.
All right, so what's the demand like? Because clearly the trend is your friend. Okay, right now, custody is going to be a very key part. Settlement, clearing, big parts of what's payment, rails. What's that mean for you guys? What's some of the things you're seeing blooming now in the market?
I mean, I think stable is obviously one of the big things, and I think that it's going to grow and explode probably in the next year. So there's a lot of discussions happening around that for sure. But also we're just seeing like a lot of money coming in, right? Like asset managers coming in and wanting to have access to this different liquidity. The fact that it's absolutely global as well is very important. The fact that you can go and connect with different exchanges in different parts of the world, and through our technology have access to Japanese market, the Korean market, all these different things. I think there's a big opportunity there as well. And then what I was saying, like I think you hit it on the head on the new coins and the foundations, which is one of the things that we're really concentrating on.
Yeah, one of the things you guys have, I noticed, on the business side, obviously the developer, you got great traction. You got an event coming up in October, I know, for developers. Big part of your community. But as businesses are coming on, you mentioned solutions. How custom are they? Are they all? Is it a feature or a bug to be a one-off? Because beauty's in the eye of the beholder, right, as they say. So if I'm an enterprise, I have needs. Talk about the customization options. What do you guys do there? What's the conversations like? What are they?
So it's a mix. So we do have a product where that's plug and play. You come in and you talk to us and we can integrate you in a week and you can have the Ledger Enterprise solution. But there's a customization aspect because the whole governance is going to be fully customized to what your needs are, right? So you're going to decide who are the different signers, what are the levels of signature that you need someone to get integrated in or not. I mean, so it's really specific to every company's needs.
You got to do the work, get the requirements, do the classic integration.
And we do it, we'll hold your hand through the process, which is the onboarding process, but there's customization here. But then when you're using the product, it's the same product, you have access to all these different apps. Then you decide which apps you want to connect to. Do you want to do staking? I mean, within the product, you decide how you use it, but it's the same product. And then to your point, do we have we do have discussions with some very large players who have, what I was mentioning earlier, who have very specific needs, which would be integrating some of our solutions and then make it available to some of the retail users. And that would be like a custom, but that's not the majority. The majority is just people coming in through the door. On Tradelink, on our off-exchange trading platform, same thing. They want to be able, they want to customize their network. They want to say, I want to pledge my assets with this custodian and have access to these different exchanges. That's going to be fully custom. You're going to decide, it's basically your own network, your own trading network that you're doing, but you're using the same technology. So it's customization within something that, the technology layer, which is really the security layer, is the same. We don't make more security here or there. The security is always
you guys are grounded in security. That's what I like about your company. So I have to ask you on a personal note, you said you worked at Amazon, Google, Alibaba. So you've been an Amazonian, you've been a Googler.
I have.
I can't speak to the Alibaba culture, but what's the culture like at Ledger? Is it Amazonian-like? Is it Googler-like? What is the vibe? Obviously your office is spectacular in Paris. So anyone's never been to Ledger's office, go check it out if you're in town there. But what's the culture like at Ledger? Because the pace of play is so high right now. A friend of mine went on vacation and they came back a week later and stuff on the plate is massive. What's it like at Ledger?
So I think I'll say a couple of things. I think the first part is that one thing that's common is the passion, right? And I think the level of passion within Ledger employees about the space, right? How passionate about crypto is really incredible. And I think that's true of the space as a whole, but it's definitely true within Ledger. People just really believe in the need for crypto, and it's very mission driven. And I was at Amazon in '99, where
that was
really
early
on, and there was really a mission.
People didn't understand what's going on.
No, and also there was this idea of saying we want to make culture available to all, right? If you're in the middle of Wisconsin or whatever, and you don't have a bookstore that's within 50 miles, or whatever, have every book delivered to your door was a revolution. And for Google, it was a revolution also of making advertising available to all, right? You're a small business right now. What can you do? You could do Yellow Pages, etc. No, right now you have
access selection.
Exactly. So that was there was a mission between these things, and then and so I really feel that, and that's something very common at Ledger. It's it's the first French company that I work for. But it's not French at all, right? If you look at it's French in the sense that we are based in France, etc. But in the culture, it's really international, right? When we look at our executive committee, etc., it's people from everywhere. You had Ariane, Ian Rogers, RCX. So it's people from the UK, etc. And I really love the fact that it's very diverse, and then the mindset is very international. And then the last thing I'll say is that I think Amazon is very, your culture is very rooted in who your CEO is. And I think that Amazon was very rooted in business because Bezos was coming from finance and he was a business guy. Whereas Google is very rooted in product because it came from engineers like Larry and Sergey were and are engineers. And I think Ledger is kind of a mix between the two because it's founded by engineers, so it has that very big product culture.
It's like a hybrid.
And the CEO today is definitely a business guy, so it's this hybrid between the two. So it's really interesting to see how it works both ways.
Well, you guys are doing great. The business market is phenomenally set up for folks that have done the work and are growing.
To do it.
Final question for you, Sebastien. What is your needs now? What's on your mind? What's on your plate? What are your goals? Put a plug in for Ledger. What are you working on? What are some of the cool things?
I mean, I think what we want is just to help as many, institutions in the space, especially here in the US, because, I wouldn't have told you this 6 months ago, but clearly, we see so much opportunity here. So anyone that, has security needs or wants to, really recreate their treasury, et cetera, that give us a call. We'll gladly sit down with you guys and find, because that's what we're trying to build. We're trying to build really strong partnerships with some of the biggest players in the space. We're doing that, and we hope that that's going to be very successful.
And the market's maturing in the sense of the technology, the money's flowing, the plumbing's being recast.
And that's what we're trying to help build. So for sure.
Congratulations. Thanks for coming on, appreciate it. The Crypto Trailblazers series, NYSE Wired and theCUBE partnership, really exposing the innovation curve, the demand, the disruptive enablement that's coming from this new wave that's really changing how we work, play, and interact, and certainly money's involved, digital assets, all going to be on the chain. So again, the world is changing super fast. The IPO market is evidence that the private market is undervalued relative to what's happening. The world is moving super fast. And of course, we're doing our best to keep up and bring that to you. I'm John Furrier with Dave Vellante here in New York City at the NYSE for our Crypto Trailblazers series. Thanks for watching.